What's going on, DBN? It's your boy, Intergalactic Brew, as always. And you know what it is. Here to do another video about my Atlanta Falcons, man. So, we have officially wrapped up the number 5 seed in the NFC wild card playoffs. And apparently, we will be traveling to the Big Apple for the very first time. It should be a interesting game, to say the least. The opponent we're going up against is a championship top level opponent in the New York Giants. I know they've changed their roster over the past couple of years, but this is still the same team that upset the New England Patriots back in 2008 to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, this is big. This is really big for Atlanta. Matt Ryan is going to have to take that next step if he ever wants to put himself in that elite category of QBs in the NFL. And I know it's cliche, but what better way to do it than probably on, well, let me rephrase, probably the biggest city, the most popular city ever in the United States, New York. What better way to have your coming out party than right in the Meadowlands in New York City, or on Broadway, as they like to say. But yeah, this is going to be a very exciting game. I love the matchups all across the board, defensively and offensively. You know, you got the D-line of the Giants in Justin Tuck, Jean-Pierre Paul. You got O.C. Umenyiora. I think you say his name, Kanuka. I can't pronounce that other defensive end or linebacker, whoever he is. I can't pronounce his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. I think his name is Kanuka or something. And then you got, of course, Michael Boley in there as well. And this is just a defensive line. And then you've got, you know, that sneaky secondary. At least that's what I call them. I mean, sure, they may not have, you know, had a lot of interceptions, but they've made a lot of big plays, and you know, they've made some clutch stops in big games this year. And it's no secret who they are. You know, Corey Webster, Aaron Ross. You got what's that? Kenny Phillips. I was gonna say Prince Amukamara, but it's a possibility we might see him in this game too. But you know, Prince Amukamara, always got to keep an eye out on him. He's a ball hawk. Antrell Roll. I mean, it's just a deep roster of defensive backs back there that can do all types of damage. And I believe the run game for Atlanta is going to be probably the biggest demand throughout these playoffs, because we're going up against, you know, a secondary that is good against the pass. You know, they're not a great pass defense team. They're not a great pass defense secondary, but they're good enough to win games for their team. So yeah. But I mean, even our secondary, you know, with you know, Grimes and William Moore and Dante Robinson and Thomas Deku and all this stuff. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Deku and Robinson better show up. I'm gonna say that right now. These guys better show up. These guys better, um, get motivated and get motivated in a hurry. I'm talking about serious, intense motivation. I'm serious. Like, these guys better not come up and goof off. Because in my opinion, this is our do or die. If we lose this game, then some changes seriously need to be made. I'm sorry. I already said that anyway, that a change needs to be made anyway, despite this. But if we screw up this playoff run this year, then there's no doubt some changes are going to have to be made, especially in the secondary, because that's really been the main problem. I mean, the defensive line has been solid all season long, especially our linebackers. I mean, our defensive ends have played pretty well for the most part of the season. But I mean, it's mainly been the secondary that's had the most problems for us on defense. And I really wish that in the middle of the season we could have kind of switched the rotation around and put the guys in there that are definitely capable of making the interceptions and covering the receivers and tackling the receivers in the open field and not giving up big plays into the game. Guys like James Sanders, somebody like Kelvin Hayden, if he wouldn't have got injured so much. Dominic Franks has looked impressive. Guys like that. And you can leave William Moore and Brent Grimes out there, because those guys, they're always going to attack and they're always going to try to make plays. But I'm just talking about guys that aren't giving enough effort, like Deku and Robinson. So what I'm saying is those two guys especially, like, they better get fired up, because we're going into hostile territory. Number one, we're going to be a heavy underdog. Number two, and then on top of that, the crowd is going to be mega rowdy. So I mean, we've got all of these circumstances against us, and we better be able to triumph. Now at the same time, with the Giants, I'm not taking anything away from them, because they are a good team. They did win the NFC East. And say what you want about Eli Manning, but I mean, the guy's got a Super Bowl, and that's something that we want. I mean, sure, yeah, he's not, one of my favorite players. No. I mean, I still don't agree with some of the decisions that he makes in the game. No, I don't agree with that. But I mean, it's just the simple fact that you have to respect him for what he has done in his career, and that's, he's won a championship. I mean, you can't dispute that, and that's what we want. That's what Matt Ryan is trying to get, a Super Bowl ring. So there you go. But yeah, with the Giants, I personally believe that they're going to try to expose our pass defense. I just feel that Eli's going to try to win the game with the pass, because their run game hasn't been looking too good lately. I mean, although they do have, great runners in Jacobs and Bradshaw, and even DJ Ware, but I mean, it hasn't been consistent all season long. And I'm not gonna say ours has either. I'm not gonna say that either. But I mean, I feel like that if we run the ball like we're supposed to, I believe that we can wear their defensive line out. I mean, if you go back to the Philadelphia game, Philadelphia just completely just mowed their defensive line down with the run game and LaShawn McCoy. So if LaShawn McCoy can go haywire on their D line with the run, then why can't we with Michael Turner? I mean, you saw what he did yesterday. That's a perfect example right there. I mean, not even that. I mean, go back to the when we played Philadelphia. Go back to the Tennessee game. I mean, if Michael Turner gets enough touches with the ball, he can crush some D-lines. And that's what we have to understand. Not only as a team, not only as an offense, but as a coaching staff. That's what Mike Mularkey has got to get into his memory. We have a near 300-pound, powerful running back with bruising speed and toughness that can wear these guys out. So we have to use them. So that's just a little food for thought there, BBN. But as far as Eli Manning goes, as far as getting pressure on him, I think this is going to have to be a case of, when we play Drew Brees 2 times a year, I don't think we're going to beat Eli off the edge. I think we're going to beat him up the middle. So Corey Peters and Perea Jerry and Babineau and Bierman and Lofton and Witherspoon, they're going to have to make it a must. They're going to have to get super aggressive, and they're going to have to come up the middle and get Eli on the ground. Because Eli, he may not be the fastest guy, but he's got enough movement back there where he can get out of the pocket and still make plays. He can even do it, as they say, with his legs. So if we expect to get Eli on the turf, then we're gonna definitely have to do it from the middle. It's not gonna come from the edge, because Eli's, like I said, he's one of those quarterbacks, that has good mobility back there in the pocket. So hopefully we can do that. I believe we can do that, but I just hope we can. I just hope it shows in the game. What else do I want to cover? This is, by the way, the first of a few videos I'll be doing for this game. I mean, I'm just basically, giving my early thoughts on the whole thing. The next video I'll be addressing the fans of the New York Giants. But yeah, I'm just basically giving, my insight on the game itself. But as far as Matt Ryan goes, if he does decide to pass the ball, then he's gonna have to make some hot throws. I mean, he's gonna have to hit Roddy and Tony and Julio. Like, he's gonna have to zip it. I mean, quickly, because Justin Tuck and O.C. Umenyiora and the Manuka man, the Manuka guy. I'm gonna find out that guy's name, but yeah, him, Umenyiora, Justin Tuck, Pierre-Paul, Boley, they are gonna be gunning. And when I mean gunning, they're gonna be gunning. They're gonna be coming full speed ahead at Matty Ice. So Ryan is going to have to get that ball out of his hands with the quickness, because we all know what their linebackers love to do to quarterbacks, a la Tony Romo, 2010 season. And trust me, We do not need any more injuries at this point of the season. It's already bad enough that we've lost Kelvin Hayden and Mike Peterson. We don't need any more injuries on this team. We need to stay as healthy as we can. And the only way we can do that is if our O-line gets some guts and mans up and aggressively blocks from Matty Ice. Bottom line. This is bottom line. As far as the receivers go for the Giants, going back to the secondary, I don't think you'll have to worry about the speed factor, because I can see Robinson or Grimes, or even William Moore, like, you know, being able to stay on these guys. Because, I mean, really, their key target, Jake Ballard, probably won't be even playing in this game. It'll be a miracle if he does, and if he does, you know, we've definitely, you know, got to keep a body on him, so to speak. Because, man, you're talking about somebody that'll smoke you. That guy would definitely smoke you. But this guy, Bear Pasco, you know, their other tight end that they have, you know, he looked good last night as well. So we definitely, you know, want to respect him as well. I mean, he may not be as good as Jake Ballard, but, you know, he's got some ability. So yeah. But for, like I said, with Hakeem Nicks and Mario Manningham, we should be able to stay step for step with them and cover them, because you know, Hakeem Nicks, you know, if you play him physical, you know, going back to the New Orleans Saints game, if you play physical with those guys, they will get rattled. I mean, you saw what the Saints DBs did to Hakeem Nicks. I mean, they just straight broke that guy in half, and he sat out the game for, you know, most of the game, I should say. You know, he had to go to the sideline and, you know, get out the game. So if you play physical with these receivers, you will break them. Now, the only receiver that's probably going to demand a lot of double coverage, or either bump and run or man or whatever, is Victor Cruz. That's the only guy that really concerns me in this game. I think you know, we might have to double up on that guy, because if Eli hits him in the open field, man, and you're one-on-one with him, you're gonna get smoked. I mean, and I'm sure the Falcons have looked at the Jets game. I'm sure they looked at the game last night with the Cowboys, and I'm sure they've probably seen a couple other games of Victor Cruz. So I think we know how dangerous this guy is, and he's slowly developing into Eli's #1 target. So, you know, we definitely have to cover him really, really good, and make sure, you know, he doesn't even you know, catch, you know, even no type of completion we should allow with Victor Cruz, because even if he gets a completion, you know, he's gonna get going. He gets hot early. So yeah, that's basically what it is. But for the most part, if, you know, we just stick to the formula on offense and run the ball effectively, and if we cover well and get pressure up the middle on defense, and, you know, keep Matt Ryan clean, then I have no reason why we shouldn't beat the Giants, because they are a beatable team. They're a good team, but they're a beatable team. So yeah, that's gonna do it for my first video. I'll probably come back on here maybe Tuesday or Wednesday and probably address the fans and the fun part of the game. But until then, I'm done. Peace.